Welcome back. Well, a new survey shows where Americans put their trust and where they don't. Young people trust college professors more than military, police, and religious leaders. Here to discuss, co-founder and education director of Praxis, TK Coleman. TK, break this down for us. I think this is surprising for probably a lot of our viewers that young adults, 74% have confidence in their professors, just 69%, 67% in military and police, and only 50% for religious leaders. Will you explain for us?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the results at all. In fact, if you look at that study, it shows that young Americans are having trust problems all across the board. In fact, that same study showed that they don't even trust each other as much as the previous generations do. And I think there's a very simple explanation for this. I mean, this is a generation whose lives have taken shape in an entirely different information landscape, unlike anything we've seen in history. This is the age of social media. This is the era of decentralization. This is the generation whose motto is don't trust, verify. And they're used to questioning things and scrutinizing things in an unprecedented way. When they log on to their social media accounts, they see multiple conflicting reports. Every 5 minutes, there's a debate about news versus fake news. And they can't settle these debates by appealing to a single source of authority. So it's a lot more difficult to know who to trust when you have so many sources from which you can choose. The older generations had fewer options, but an easier time deciding who to listen to. Well, this younger generation has more options, but it comes at the trade-off of information anxiety.
Sure. Do you think the professor number has something to do with access and relationship because there's a transfer of information, whereas you might not interact with the police and the military? Because those numbers being so low, I think raises some eyebrows for people.
It definitely has something to do with access, but I think it also has something to do with methodology. Professors, for many people, are usually the first people to come along and adopt a Socratic method for dialogue, right? It's the job of a professor to sit around and discuss big ideas with you and to debate those ideas. And young Americans today don't just want to be told what to think. They want to argue with you. They want to hear about the philosophical underpinnings of your beliefs. And that's just not what the military is in the business of doing. Your beliefs about military are far more likely to be shaped by a professor than a military official.
Scary.
So I
TK,
think that the method, I think that resonates with people.
But for those of us that are worried about the indoctrination camps that a lot of our four-year universities have become, that's a scary reality. Now, some of the folks that look at schools that way are 50+, and the same Pew study looked at those 50 and older. 91% have confidence in the military, 85% in police officers, 71% in religious leaders, and they don't trust the college profs the way the young folks do.
That's absolutely right. And I think for older generations, it's an awesome opportunity. I'm actually very optimistic about this. When I see young Americans having a difficult time trusting, what that tells me is that the world is changing and that they're shifting their perspective from a world oriented in credentialism and authority to a world oriented in being able to verify your results. And what that means is, as leaders, we have to approach trust differently. These young people, they're not about proof of status. They're about proof of work. And we have to be able to have more transparency and demonstrate to them that we care about them, that we're on their side, that we can create value.
TK, I appreciate your optimism. I just don't want a world shaped by college professors. Appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much.
I'm with you on that. I don't want that world either.
All right.